Hello everyone, welcome back to another One Mission DMD podcast conversations video. In this series, we sit down with current dental students and other people in the profession where we can learn a lot from them along the way. So in today's episode, I'll be speaking with FutureDDS duo of doctors Tyler and Tyrell with FutureDDS. So stay tuned. Thank you so much, Tyler and Tyrell, for agreeing to be on this episode. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Man, doing well, man. Thanks for having us.
You guys just finished dental school. How does it feel to be official doctors of dentistry?
It feels amazing, man. Everybody will be there soon, but it definitely hit the light at the end of the tunnel, and it feels great, man. It feels great.
Right. I'm so happy for you guys, man. Like, I actually remember when I was nearing the end of my undergrad, I came across y'all's videos on YouTube, and you were talking about how you did a master's together and how you got into dental school. And I was like, I have to do that myself. So I really appreciate all the work and content that you guys put into FutureDDS because it's been helping people for a long time. And the people that started it are done with dental school. So I'm really happy and proud of everything that you guys have been doing.
No, we appreciate that, man. We really do.
Yeah, glad it was helpful, man. Definitely.
We'll start off with Tyler. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into dentistry and kind of where you're at today.
Yeah. So quick little introduction. My name is Tyler Brown. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. After undergrad, I went and completed my master's where I met Tyrell at Bayer University in Miami, Florida. I just graduated dental school from Tufts University School of Dental Medicine. It was a great time. Granted, Boston was freezing, but still a great time nonetheless. And now I'm here back in Atlanta, starting working actually next week. So I'm excited to get to work and see what the future holds.
Awesome. All right. What about you, Tyrell?
Again, my name is Tyrell Fridie, originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Went to undergrad at Morehouse College, that's where I graduated from. After that, ended up going to do a master's at Bayer University. And then, obviously got into Tufts University, where we just finished up this year. So, yeah, man, it's been a wild journey to this point so far. It's been a long ride, but obviously made some good connections. Obviously, like Tyler, who I met doing my master's program, and a bunch of other people who met through this journey.
So you mentioned Morehouse. Was that the school that actually had something in the news about somebody coming in and paying off everyone's loans? Is that the school, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I believe it was 2019. Um, Yeah, the commencement speaker actually decided to pay off the student loans, not only for the students, but as well as I believe the students' parents, any student loan debt that they had as well was relieved. So yeah, man, it was yeah, definitely a crazy obviously completely unthought of thing that could be done, but I guess no one has never done it before, and that was an amazing thing for to kind of change generational wealth and shift all those families to projections in those students' lives. So that was amazing to see.
I'll kind of leave this up for both of you guys, however you guys want to address this. What led you guys to decide to make your future DDS platform? Like, what motivated you guys to go in deciding to do that?
So yeah, the story is actually kind of funny. Terrell and I, we were literally just sitting in our apartment when we were in Miami, and we were really looking for, just some type of feedback or some type of opinion on the dental school process. And it was funny because this was the time before the dental influencer, right? So we always joke about it. There was literally one girl on YouTube, Brittany
Laura
Watu.
Smiles.
No, Brittany Watu.
Brittany Watu. You're right. Actually, I do know her too. Okay. Go ahead.
Brittany goes to dental school, and she was literally the only person that we could find who had uploaded videos on a consistent basis. And granted, even though she did an amazing job, we decided, hey, why not, give another perspective just because, we were so thirsty for the information that we knew other people would be eager to receive it as well. And so, that kind of just lit the match, and we went from there.
And she's like, I think having worked in her second year now. Is that right?
Yeah, she was 1 year older than us, I believe.
It was very interesting how it happened. It's funny how Tyler said it really was a funny story. It was very ironic how we were having similar conversations or had similar goals or aspirations of doing it on our own, and it was a random conversation that we were both having with other people, other friends of ours at the same time. And obviously just sat down, decided to really sit down and think through the ideas that we both had, trying to create that big brother or big sister at each school, which kind of inspired one of our series that we ended up doing. And yeah, it just kind of flourished from there very organically. And started from recording a mock intro on the wall in our living room to evolving into us just setting up a camera just to start talking to the first week of school, and it's obviously blossomed now to help a bunch of people. So yeah, it's kind of turned into what we wanted it to be and more, honestly. So
One of the series that you guys do, I don't know what it's called, but it's when you talk to people at each school and like kind of get an input of what their school's about. What is that series called again? Can you remind me?
The Dental School Experience series.
Right. Yeah, that. I mean, when people are applying to dental school, they're kind of going in blind. They're like, oh, yeah, I think I can go here. But what you guys did really gives a snapshot for any applicant, be like, what can they expect? So that was a really good series. I really enjoyed that. And so you guys finished dental school. You went through all the hurdles, all the difficulties, the things people don't talk about, the things people talk about. So knowing all of that, what would you say was probably the most challenging thing for you guys in dental school to kind of, you know, figure out?
man, um,
Too simple of a question for a complicated answer, I know.
you think that, man, and then you think about all the long nights and and the different competencies and stuff that you do. So, but no, I'd say one of the biggest things is and it's kind of like something you pick up very quickly or something you don't, is hand skills, man. So picking up the hand skills initially, I think that was one of the harder things, just because it's something that you've never really done before. On top of having to study a lot of a crazy course load, like you kind of are used to studying. But yeah, I think really getting into the hand skills and getting comfortable with having that hand piece, positioning different things around the patient or in the lab that you're doing. So I'd say that was one of the harder struggles, on top of obviously having a whole bunch of classwork and tests to deal with and test blocks. So
I probably think that it was more so like the meticulousness of dental school, right? And it was kind of like we had so much going on we had so many different events going on. We had so many different updates. We were getting like 5 emails every single day. And, the fact that we always had to be on, we really had to build up endurance, just mental endurance, just to keep going and just to make sure that we stayed on top of everything and we got all the different forms filled out and that we were on top of all of our competencies and on top of all of that, of course, studying for classes and practicing our hand skills and so I think really just the juggling aspect of everything that comes with dental school. And then keep in mind you have a life outside of dental school before you come in, right? So you have people who are looking at you to kind of not necessarily like, build the relationship, but at least maintain it somewhat. You want to talk to your family, you want to talk to your friends. If you have a significant other, they want certain attention from you. And so really just balancing all of that was definitely the most difficult for me because, while you're trying to take care of everything with dental school, while you're trying to take care of all your friends and family, you also have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And I think that that's a huge lesson that everybody quickly learned going throughout that crazy 4 years. So yeah.
One thing about the emails, like, you constantly having to take care of things. And I just started clinic literally like 5 weeks ago. And whenever I got an email for something, I had to take care of something or whatever, like before clinic, I'd kind of be able to do right there and respond immediately. But I'm just getting a taste of it now. When I'm in clinic, I can't touch my emails until the day's over. So
yeah, it's a juggling act, man. It
it's
gets rough.
yeah, it's really challenging. I just found that out like now, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of other things that I have to figure out moving along. What would you tell your D1 self if you could go back and restart dental school all from the beginning?
I would tell myself not to procrastinate. And it sounds easier said than done, but there are a lot of times when I kind of would prioritize an extra 30 minutes of rest, or an extra conversation or something like that, when I could have kind of like did my work and then had that conversation or got that rest on the back end. And because I would wait and have this kind of looming presence of responsibility, even when I was having the conversations, even when I was resting, I wasn't being able to be fully within that situation because I knew I had work to do, if that makes any sense. So I would just kind of tell myself, whenever you get an assignment, whenever you get any type of requirements, anything like that, knock them out as soon as possible. Because even, for example, with the whole COVID situation, we got into clinic and, we definitely, of course, nobody knew COVID was going to happen, but, some of us kind of, we didn't ease our way into clinic, but we kind of, we might have taken one or two appointments a day when we could have done, two or three. And so because we did it that way, we did the one or the two, when COVID hit, when it came to the back end of everything, we were trying to we had to pack our schedule, three appointments every single day up until graduation, just because we hadn't done as much as we could have done in the beginning, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, just for peace of mind, just knock out the work as soon as possible, and it would be a lot smoother of a process.
Man, that's great advice. I definitely piggyback off that, but I would also say, like maximize each session. Like get the most out of every opportunity that you have at dental school. There will be study abroad opportunities where you might want to wait, or just kind of figure it out on the back end if you want to do more work. As a first year, second year, you might only be able to assist when you travel abroad to do a global service learning trip versus being able to actually do procedures as a third or fourth year in clinic. But like take advantage of the opportunity now, because obviously like Tyler said, COVID could hit and you never know what happened. You might miss the opportunity. And also just like be in clinic, be in lab, like really practice your skills, take advantage of every opportunity because dental school is expensive, and it's that's what you're there for. Honestly, it's like there's no other opportunity that you'll have to just sit down and go practice some class twos or go practice some crown preps or go, just kind of read up a lot more, have designated time to read up a lot more about endo or cross or anything when you don't have patients that you're actively seeing, different things like that. So just kind of try to develop your skills as best as possible, and maximize all the opportunities you have while you have time, because time is definitely of the essence in dental school. So take advantage of it early.
So Tyler, like at your school, did you guys have like a standardized calendar for like everything, or did you guys have like separate calendars for different things? Like how did it work for you guys at Tufts for that?
So we did kind of have like a loose requirement schedule, and but even when I say loose, this is kind of like, hey, you should have 15 cleanings done by the end of your third year. And let's be, when you think about it, we never really even got to that point because COVID came in, what, at the end of our third year, or like, yeah, right at the end. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So like three-fourths, right? And so, it just kind of got jumbled up. So they did kind of have an outline for us. And of course, we would have hit those deadlines if we could have. But unfortunately, yeah, we just got into a situation where, we just weren't able to follow the traditional route of doing 15 exams this quarter, doing three canals the next quarter. That wasn't it just wasn't a thing for us. So, it kind of also plays into what Tyrell was saying, whereas like grasp every opportunity, because there were some times when we could have easily in our third year before COVID went downstairs and sat and assisted in endo procedure, but we thought we had time, and I think that definitely was a negative in the whole situation. I wish I had just gone down there and sat. So even like going down to the endo bay and just being there and watching endo procedures and like getting out, we had to do a certain number of endo assists. Even just being in the clinic, like Terrell said, just doing those things earlier than later. I just wish I really had done that, so that I didn't have to have additional chaos on top of the COVID situation that was going on. So yeah, just telling people to get in there early.
And I think it was a tip that one of our good friends out of UOP, he was saying that his fourth year, whenever a patient would cancel, he would just stay in clinic and follow one of the docs around, and just kind of go through all the students that he's helping out and just see different patients, see how they managed it, ask the questions about the X-rays, do different things like that to kind of help with that process, and kind of just staying engaged even through that. But you'll get it, man. It happens to everybody, bro. It sucks. Obviously, in the time you're prepared, you got the opportunity set up and everything, and the next thing the patient just doesn't show for you. But you'll definitely get to the finish line, and you'll get all of the experience that you need for sure. Yeah, I mean, just treat the patients and be very personable. Um, with clinic, like you'll obviously continue to get better. So after you do it a couple of times, you start getting more comfortable. All the rest will kind of take care of itself through repetition. So just make sure you're paying attention to your patients and being very, I guess empathetic to like people who may not be as comfortable in the dental chair. So
Gotta feel for that. Like, I mean, I did like assist a lot like before dental school, but I don't think I really was able to learn what a patient really goes through until I was the one in stab lab getting injected
yeah.
on. So yeah, I was like, oh, dang, this is different. This is definitely not the best. That's why people aren't comfortable with it. So I totally understood that from that day. What was the biggest surprise for you guys while you were in dental school?
Honestly, I think one of the biggest surprises is that you know I think just getting through things, learning how to manage things. I think one of the biggest surprises was seeing you see like the growth throughout your process and different things like that. I don't necessarily see it as a surprise, but you continuously surprise yourself throughout the dental school process. And like, okay, my hand skills are getting better. I'm being able to dissect a lot more information more quickly. Like the conversations that you're having with faculty, the level of those conversations continue to elevate like passively just by putting in more work and putting in more effort and really going through these classes and dedicating yourself. So it's not necessarily surprising. I think it's more so just continuing to strive more so towards that next level, and you continue to surprise yourself of like, okay, really knowing that you understand different things and going through that process. It's cool. Just to kind of see those benchmarks. Again, I don't necessarily know if it's surprising because that's what you're there for and you kind of intend on getting better. But at the same time, it is a good feeling when you're like, okay, I thought this might stretch my knowledge. I thought this might stretch my skills, but I'm actually, more proficient than I thought, or I'm actually I'm a lot further along than I believed I would, I believed to be. So that's good.
I kind of understand what you're saying. So when we were in operative one, right, in sim clinic, we're trying to just figure out how to do a box, like a drop in the box and breaking contact and all this stuff. And I would be struggling with that. And then once we started fixed pros, that was a whole nother beast. And learning how to work on every millimeter of the tooth. But when we went back to operative after fixed pros, you're right, Terrell. Like, I saw that improvement, and it does kind of surprise you in the fact, like, oh wow, like I'm doing this prep in much less time, and it looks so much cleaner. So
Way better.
yeah, yeah, I totally get what you're saying there.
Yeah, so it's funny. I think that like the biggest surprise for me was really when I would have conversations with faculty, right? I think that the difference between, at least for me, from undergrad, my master's program, and into dental school, it was more so like the dental faculty were treating me more like a peer. And so, like, granted, we were looking up to them because, of course, they're already the doctors. They know exactly what they're doing, all these different things. But when we'd have these conversations, and I got to know them on a more personal level, it was really surprising just to hear their stories and hear how their path to dentistry and what they've done within the field and all these different things. And it just really opened my eyes to just how vast the field of dentistry really can be. And it just really like showed me that you can do whatever you want to do with dentistry, right? You can go into private practice and practice for 3 days, or you can work for corporate dentistry, or you don't even have to practice at all. You can be a movie director, right? You can do anything with your dental degree. And so really just seeing that really kind of made me excited about the profession. just because for so long I thought that dentistry was just like one single lane and you could only do this. But after talking to all the faculty and becoming personable with them, me realizing that it's just a huge field with so many different opportunities, that really excited me and surprised me, to be honest.
Absolutely. I just like up until recently have been figuring out all those avenues that we can take as dentists. There's so many things I never even heard of before. So there's a lot for sure. You're absolutely right. What was y'all's outlook and decision regarding dental school residencies, and what kind of led you to making that decision?
So for me, it was more so I had talked to a lot of different people, right? And from what I was kind of gathering, the whole residency piece, it was either, you go into a good residency or a or a not so good residency, right? And from what I could tell, it was kind of like a 50-50 shot. And so when I think of residency, I think of, basically an apprenticeship, a mentorship type of aspect. And so I figured if I was able to find a mentor who I genuinely believe would help me grow as a dentist, especially as a new dentist, then I would go into that position and just work, instead of me doing the traditional school residency type of route. And I was fortunate enough to find that. And when I did find that, and I kind of just explained to her the situation I was in, what I was comfortable with, what I wasn't comfortable with, and kind of what my plan for the next year was. When I recognized that we were on the same page about what it was that I was looking for in a mentor, and then what she was expected for from a employee. Once we got on the same page, I said, this is where I want to be, and uh, I kind of waived the residency option and decided just to go straight to work.
I would piggyback off the mentorship aspect. I think the biggest thing, whether you go into a residency or whether you go into practice, is having a good mentor to really learn from and kind of be able to bounce ideas off and kind of teach you the ropes so you can just continue to evolve, become a better practitioner. But I think one of the other biggest things that goes into deciding if you can do a residency or will go into doing a residency is knowing yourself. Knowing which situations will kind of make you, bring that passion out of you and really energize you to really get up and do it. You'll be able to practice and be able to help people in different situations. But if a more scholastic environment to help you build your confidence and kind of still having a more of a safety net under you, is something that you'll prefer and you feel like that would allow you to increase your productivity or like speed, kind of increase that curve of growth, then a residency obviously would be more so for you. But on the other side, if you feel like you're more of a independent learner, you kind of want to structure your own plans in terms of figuring out your own CEs, and you have someone to help guide you through that in terms of a mentor or something like that. Then obviously, going into that route where you can find a safe space to practice, like Tyler said he did, being able to have those conversations and finding a safe space to continue to grow and be able to hone your skills. Like I believe that going into practice would kind of be the option, and having that confidence, knowing that you know what you don't know to a certain extent, and know what you really need to work on, and you're willing to work and put those hours in after that 9 to 5 punching the clock. Then I believe that going the route of going into practice, could be more so for you. So I think it's just more so about knowing yourself, knowing which environment is going to be more I guess suiting to the things that you feel like are your strengths. So that's kind of what led me that way, and just finding seeing out there that there are ideal situations for you out there outside of doing the residency in order to grow in a safe space. So.
Right, absolutely. I just think it's cool how residencies are even an option for people in dental school because, people come into dental school and, some people they're in sim clinic and they're seeing that this is kind of what the job is going to entail. But a lot of times people, feel like that this is not what's going to make them want to get up every single day and, enjoy what they're doing. And that's where residencies come into play. You can go into anesthesia, you can go into pros, you can go into ortho, you can go into perio. There's so much. So you can kind of, exactly like you said, if you like what you're doing, you find what it is. And personally, I don't think I'm gonna specialize, but I think it's cool how when we rotate in through those different specialties at our school, we really learn a lot from them. So it really kind of just opens your eyes beyond what you think dentistry is, and it's quite vast. So you guys just finished school. How do you feel in terms of your readiness for going out there and just performing everything that you've learned? Is there something you wish you could have done more of in school? Talk to me about that.
I feel pretty prepared. I think that the thing about dentistry is like the more you do it, the more you feel comfortable. I kind of felt that even with like fillings, right? The first filling I ever did, it might have taken me the entire 3 hours, whereas by the time I graduated, I could do a filling in like, less than like around 20 minutes, and that's only going to continue to improve. Okay, so the great thing about dentistry, I think it's more so like you practice. It's the practice of dentistry, right? So the more and more you do of something, of course, you're going to get better and better of it. Of course, I'd much rather. I mean, I much would have preferred. I got a little bit more experience with like ortho, not ortho, but more so like dentures. Actually, definitely dentures. I think that we had to do around like three arches, and I just feel like dentures specifically. Um there's so many different aspects that go into a good set of dentures that granted Tufts did a great job in teaching us, but I think it's one of those things where it's like you just have to feel, you have to be with your patient, you have to talk to your patient, see how it feels on them. I think it's one of those type things, and I wish I had a little bit more experience with that. And also root canals, like granted I was one of the few who had the opportunity to do molar endo. And I was super excited about that. But I definitely wish I had a little bit more exposure. So it is what it is. We always hear about your first month of practice, you'll see more than you did in an entire semester of dental school, whatever it may be. So I'm okay with that. I've accepted that. And yeah, just kind of ready to see what this practice lifestyle kind of throws at me.
I'd say definitely feel prepared. I think it goes back to what I was saying before about just knowing what you know, knowing what you don't know, and really drawing the boundaries for yourself. Um, as really, it's just going forward. But I think, to piggyback off of a lot of things that Tyler said, I think just having more experience all around and doing everything, just more of everything. And through COVID, obviously we weren't able to. So obviously some people got a lot more experience doing pros, or some people got a lot more experience doing dentures, some people got a lot more experience doing um, endo and different things along those lines. So it's just I think just all around being able to see more cases would have been fun, or would have been cool to continue to develop. But I think at a certain point it's just working on the field, and seeing more reps, seeing more X-rays, seeing more clinical cases, and obviously just continuing to look for those cases on our own, especially doing more independent study over COVID during the quarantine time, and really learning kind of how to hone those skills. I think will help us, especially going out um, into this first year, and kind of taking some CE classes, and just getting those reps up of seeing it, until we can actually put it into practice. But I think, yeah, I think for the most part, again, Tufts did a really good job of making sure everybody got experience seeing everything, but just being able to have more of it, which is just an unfortunate situation that we were in um, going forward. But yeah, definitely prepared, man.
What would be one thing you'd like to leave any pre-dental student out there with that's getting ready to apply to dental school or interested in dentistry?
I would really say like if you know this is what you want to do, just don't give up. Like through our platform, Future DDS, we've heard so many triumph stories, right, of people, who had their back pressed against the wall and they literally made their dreams become a reality. So definitely keep going, keep working, and sacrifice. I think this takes a lot of sacrifice. Dental school takes a lot of sacrifice. Your dreams are going to take a lot of sacrifice. So just make sure you're ready to put in the work. But if you really want it, nothing can stop you.
Would want them to know, everyone's journey is unique to themselves. So you'll definitely see so many different people around you, um, who will be, maybe know that they want to be dentists right off the bat and be striving for it all through undergrad. Other people who may pivot from going to med school. Other people who just find dentistry by knowing the family friends. All of these different things. So make sure you run your own race, and don't necessarily look around to others to kind of compare yourself, but look to others to inspire you and kind of get ideas of how to improve and just learn more about the field as much as possible. So, getting out there trying to study, not study, but shadow, as well as, just having little study groups for people that are taking the DAT, just meeting up and hearing about if they're going to different college tours, trying to find an impressions day or something like that. Um, I think just going out there and just continuing to expose yourself to the field would be the one thing I say. Just continue to expose yourself, and you'll be fine. You'll find your way. Um, you'll find your unique jersey, your unique journey to dentistry and to dental school. So.
So, what's y'all's plan moving forward with FutureDDS now that you guys are established dentists?
Oh yeah, yeah. So like kind of like what Terrell was saying, like it's gonna keep going. Future DDS is bigger than Terrell and Tyler. We set out to create a platform of pure inspiration, and so we are constantly looking for more stories to inspire. We're constantly looking to provide more value to our audience. Terrell and I's involvement with the platform is going to continue as well. Granted, now we have a different perspective, but it's definitely a perspective that some dental students or even pre-dents will want to see. What's it like to be a first-year dentist. And whilst us giving that perspective, we're still going to be able to tap in with dental students. We actually have a intern. His name is Nick, and he's literally going through the process of taking his DAT. And doing his application and getting into dental school right now. So once he crosses over, once again we'll be right back in the pit of it, right back in the early stages of dental school, so that we can continue to provide fresh information and fresh resources to the general public.
Yeah, I think definitely Future DS is something that we want to continue to grow. Obviously, it's something that we want to do. Obviously, giving hands-on or real-time advice to dental students. So, unfortunately, like you said, we are past the point of being able to give first-hand advice, but we definitely have a great team. We continue to build, bring more people in who will be able to provide that perspective and continue to build that community through forums and different type of projects or series that we do on our page to potentially one day doing different events and different things of that nature. So this is not an ending, just maybe like a checkpoint of maybe not having our perspective on a weekly basis of what it's like to be a dental school student, but again, just to be a first year dentist, and eventually both of us have aspirations to be owners and do a bunch of other things in the field. So yeah, so it's going to be an interesting journey, and again, just continue to give that new, fresh, organic, and just authentic perspective of what we're going through and real time decisions and real time development. So
I'm sure excited to see how y'all's uh, journey is gonna lead you guys after dental school. Looking forward to the content that you guys are gonna be sharing out. And I appreciate you guys sitting down with me and just having a conversation about what's going on, you guys, with after school.
Of course, man. Of course, we appreciate you for the opportunity, man.
yeah, man, thank you for this opportunity, man. Continue to do great work as well.
Also, you guys, make sure to be subscribed to Future DDS. They're gonna continue pumping out great content, and it's gonna be a lot of educational stuff for everyone out there that's interested in dental school. Thank you guys. See you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.